Hello.
Hi Rick.
Ian.
How you doing, man?
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining me just now for a little bit of the feta day. You've seen these before, right? You know how they work. Basically, going to ask you, tell us a bit about your relationship with food. Thank you so much. With food, with fitness, life balance, and obviously you have been an actual full throttle case study for the last 3 weeks, trying the Intermittent Alpha program. Talk a bit about how you found it, positives, negatives, and everything in between. Okay, so firstly, tell us a bit about your relationship with food.
I mean, I have spent quite a long time trying to figure out what the best mix and setup is. You know, I've tried keto, for a couple of weeks at a time, which I think actually does have a nice impact temporarily. But then this is the whole point. How do you build something sustainable that not only gives you the results you're looking for, but also is fun? Like you can still have a social life. You've got loads of things going on every week. You've got kids, you've got whatever it is. How do you make your life enjoyable and still achieve those great results? So, I mean, I love food. I enjoy cooking it. I enjoy consuming it, and I like to think I've found a pretty good relationship with food where I feel like I eat fairly clean, even before I started the program, but I need that extra, what will get me to the next level, like something is missing.
I know you as a foodie. I mean, we first met because I made you some jollof, basically.
You came to burgers.
Yeah, that's right. Burgers and jollof.
Yeah, jollof was sweet, the deal, right?
But I think, like you said, loving food isn't a bad thing, but with a little strategy and a bit of science, then you literally can have your cake or your babka and eat it. And I think that is, that's what I'm trying to pass forward and see if the effects that I've seen have on myself are the same for other people. Obviously I've done many people over the last 15 years who have tried it. But you are someone who has been doing it. So can you tell us, specifically regarding Omega Alpha then, how have you found that week going into it, and like sort of knowing that you've got your mega meal and you've got your 3 days of hypercaloric, and then you've got your Friday, Saturday.
I mean, I think we planned it beautifully because we went into Mega Meal Monday together.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just saw the sheer quantity of what I had to consume, and I was thinking, all right, this can't be too hard. Feels like an easy ride. And then obviously Tuesday hits, and you're like, okay, it's a slog. And I actually think it's not anywhere near as hard as what I've seen, in other types of extreme kind of diet plans, because you've got your 3 days of hard grind where you're just eating big piece of protein, big piece of carb, big piece of veg for 3 days. But then you get into this Friday and you're like, okay, weekend's warming up. Saturday is just,
just insane.
I'm shaking from that, and Sunday's still a great day. And then obviously Mega Meal Monday is still.
And then it's back again.
So you actually have more of your week, eating the way you want to. And for me, the change is obviously those 3 days, but with a little bit of discipline. It didn't take me any real effort to comply with it, right?
Were you practicing, I know you mentioned keto, but were you doing intermittent fasting before, or any other sort of...
for the last few years, I have cut breakfast out. So intermittent fasting, but probably not as extreme, because I would still have lunch and dinner. So the window would be more like 8 hours.
But to be fair, that is typical. That is how intermittent fasting is defined. Like 16-hour fast, 8-hour window to eat. Which is how I eat, or the Omega Alpha person eats on a Friday and on a Sunday. But with Mega Meal Monday, it's one meal, one humongous meal, and with the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it's protein shake, and then your main.
That protein shake is a lifesaver.
And the thing is, again, for what we're still reviewing everything. Like you look great. I was actually watching your pull-up form, and really good, like really good. I don't remember it being that good before. Thank you so much.
Like it?
Maybe I wasn't watching you as close. I don't know. Now I'm like, oh, this is like, you know, he's really, you know,
No,
put
I feel
it in.
it. I feel it. Like, you know, when you kind of very good guidance that you give while I'm doing something, and like, oh wait a minute, if I do that, I'm getting even more out of it. And I try,
That's true,
I seek for that pain now. I'm like hunting that pain down. I'm like, if I'm doing that,
I'll get
then
you
I must be
addicted
doing
to
it.
sugar. I'll get you addicted to pain.
Yeah.
Great, that's good. Very cool. And so regarding other sort of experience, you say you've not got a sweet tooth as well, right?
Yeah.
So obviously Fabulous for you are like champagne, or like what is your kind of
like it's
go-to?
more of an alcoholic tooth, if you
Right.
will. but yeah, that would be my main vice. That I think if it were like I was drinking no alcohol,
Yeah.
then maybe I'd be in even better shape. But
Sure.
again, the whole thing needs to be balanced with a life and a social,
Exactly.
you know, and all the
Exactly.
rest. And I choose alcohol carefully as well. I'm not someone who drinks shit.
Yeah, that's true.
To put it, you know, carefully.
Yeah. You're 100% agave type of guy.
You know, like we figured that out together in Bucharest that time. And I thought,
Yeah. That's
actually
right.
good,
Yeah, that was
my
the time.
previous experience with tequila was what you get at university.
Exactly.
And it's like,
Yeah.
this is paint stripper, right?
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that, like obviously champagne and high quality alcohol that has not been
Messed
pushed
around
through
with.
all sorts of processes, just like we talked about at the bakery, right? The cleaner it is, the better. So,
And you know, just on that as well, because why it's interesting to work with obviously different people on this journey is the effects of alcohol are obviously different to that of say sugar because of the processing that your body has to go through to get it gone.
Yeah.
So a lot of like you said, I think if you were to completely remove alcohol, you would obviously have better results.
Yeah.
But you know, it's great if you can have that alcohol and still see the results, because like you said, it's about that nice balance.
Yeah, it's about creating something sustainable.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like, I mean, I guess that's the point as well. This isn't really a diet. This is a live it. This is the idea of like, this is how I now consume food. Like, it shouldn't be too much of an obstacle in your life. And of course, you know, when there's a holiday coming up, then every day is Saturday, you know. But just expect the consequences, which is that you're going to be carrying a couple of extra kilograms of fat after that debauchery. Then you just go back into the cycle again, and then within a couple of weeks you're back into a much better state. So I think what we've also found out is you followed everything to the letter, which is great. The problem is I'm like, 20 kilograms heavier than you, so my measurements are made for me.
Yeah.
So you've definitely been taking a lot more carbohydrates. So we're going to try for the last week to take away to bring the carbohydrates down 20%, and then we'll have a kind of a final sort of look at all your figures and stuff.
Right.
But I think, you know, just from a mental perspective, because you have the balance, and because I'm now, you know, a bit more on the case with the form, I'm just seeing you develop in a way that I'm like, yeah, that's it. Like, you need to like move it. You're the only person you're cheating by not doing the rep correctly is yourself. So you're going to get more and more out of it. Okay, it's not a huge amount of time. So that's a good segue into your previous experience with fitness. So obviously you've been doing what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. Prior to that, what was your kind of relationship with fitness?
So I've been in and out of various different training programs or ways of working out in the gym that have been largely focused on weight training, with obvious kind of sprints or things where I'm doing like a heavy bit of cardio, but definitely the focus has been a lot more on weights. And
so when you say that, do you mean like with a specific goal in mind of like why you're doing the weight training, or? Yeah,
so I think overall I want to be healthier, fitter, stronger, and then also, let's face it, to look good and to get the body sculpted. I would definitely say that just on that, my weight has been very constant over the last, I'd say, more than 10 years. Every time measuring, I think I mentioned to you, like I have pilot medicals and stuff. And
I think you've got a broken scale.
The scales,
The scale just
no matter where I go, the doctors everywhere, they follow me, right? But it's definitely it's a difficult body to change in that there's something constant about it, right? And yeah, right. Sometimes I look a little bit more defined, sometimes I don't, but generally
it's always kind of consistent.
Yeah, and that was what was exciting about this program, Omega to Alpha, because I thought, okay, I'm really tearing it up for the first time in a long time, to see whether the body is then really shocked into doing something different.
Like breaking a plateau,
Yeah, you know, the last time I did something similar was Sean T's Insanity.
No way! I didn't know you did that.
I did it for 1 month, and it breaks you, right? It's
completely
impossible, and the amount of jumping around, you know, your knees eventually.
Still alive?
I don't know what he's doing. Still out there somewhere, right?
Wow.
But it reminds me of that, but in a much more sustainable way.
Yeah.
And it gives me the time as well. That was something I didn't really appreciate until I started this. Was I'm doing workouts whether with you or on my own in the gym. I'm like, shit, I've got the whole mornings now.
Yeah, you could just sit in that spa part of your gym for like, for like 3 hours.
Yeah, I do like multiple rounds of the ice bath now.
But I mean that's a huge part of I think of what I do and what I'm hoping and other people get out of this is just freeing up their time because working out. It's funny, we obviously just spoke to the guy who owns the bakery next door, and he was a big actual influencer, big foodie influencer, and prior to that he was a professional, I guess, bodybuilder, or he was basically very much in the fitness world. And he said that, I mean, he's still got a great, from what I could tell, great shape, great physique. But it's about balance, like if you follow down that path and you really are focused on one, and even then, like there's a lot of things you need to put into your body to kind of maintain those type of physiques for the most part. And that's what I'm trying to avoid with what this is. Like this isn't driven by some chemical substance that's just like, okay, well that's why now I'm more defined or whatever, or muscles are expanding quicker. This is just training with a certain energy system, training efficiently, training the right muscle groups that then kind of support each other in that algorithm, and really just trying to get the most out of it.
So if I may ask, is this the program that you were more or less following to get to the shape that you're in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I've had times in my life where I've been, like looking really great prior to this program, and there was kind of the conversation I had with Quentin. It's about breaking plateaus. It's like when you do something completely different and you really go for it, like the insanity thing, or like mine was like calisthenics for a while. Like you really go for those things, you will see great results, but you're doing the same thing over and over again. At least I was. And then at certain points I started to feel pains in the joints and the ligaments, and two, I just wasn't getting. I had to put more time or put more weight or put more stuff in to get the same results. And I think a lot of it's psychological. Like you're chasing that feeling. Like, oh, I need to feel that super pump, and that's something I don't chase anymore. Like I'm not chasing the pump because I know the science that's going on behind the scenes. The pump looks great, and it is an indicator that you've worked hard. The better indicator is like you cannot do any more reps. Okay, the best indicator is like I'm trying to do one more rep and I can't. And you're resting for a short bit and you're doing it again. So even though it's not as obvious, you're internally what's happening inside and building more mitochondria cells, increasing phosphate, muscle glycogen, and energy just to support the overload that you're putting your body through is exactly what the purpose is, and that is what's going to get you to a healthier, outcome. And I've also seen my body transform. Like when I really follow the food regime and the training regime, I will every week go down and down. So I'm like just 80 to under 80, and I'm nearly 6'2", so getting to those points, that's lean. Right. And I sometimes have people ask me like, "Are you okay? Like, are you sick?" I'm like, "God damn it, no, I'm shredded. I'm one punch man." But that's also a thing for me to be like, well, actually, this is too much. Like, I think sitting in like an 80, to 82, 83 sort of space, it's quite nice for me. Like, I enjoy that. This is why I'm playing around with my own program. Like I now have a Wicked Wednesday. You don't even know about the Wicked Wednesday. So that's also because I'm trying out new cuisines for another restaurant idea that I've got. So that's why I have to have my chicken burgers. But again, it's finding your balance. But okay, cool. So fitness wise, previously it was all sort of resistance based weight training.
A lot of it.
And obviously now it's mainly body weight. We're not using any equipment outside of a bar.
Maybe cables now and again.
And to be fair, I will introduce when I'm doing this, I'm talking more about it, but like things like cables, things that you can basically put in a bag and then pop out anywhere.
Sure.
So those are also really, really useful. Because there are a bunch of exercises that, or certain muscle groups that it's a bit harder to target, typically the shoulders, a bit harder to target. Without the cables or without some form of equipment. But going to a gym that has a million things, I don't personally think is necessary. It's fine, but it's just not necessary. So if you can go to a gym, by all means do it, but if you don't have access to it or can't afford it or whatever it is, that shouldn't be a reason that you can't still have a really good, healthy byproduct from training. Cool. And so speaking more like obviously this increase in time as well, like how do you find your current life balance? Is there any sort of tips or anything that you would sort of pass forward, and what you the code that you feel like you've got?
I'm actually glad you asked, because this is one thing that's changed recently as well, in that we have our youngest daughter who is now going to school, was going to nursery last year, and that routine is the key to any of this. The same as the program itself, but in your wider life and how everything fits together. If you can find something that fits naturally into your routine, it's going to be sustainable. If you find something that means you have to drive 45 minutes or you have to go out your way or do something different to what you're doing, at some point it's going to break. It's going to break, something else isn't possible or whatever. But that's what I've managed to find. And my wife and I, we go together to the gym after dropping Sienna off.
Right? She's been doing it as well, right? Secret of me get out for a protege.
You've seen the limping as well. And she's enjoying, and we've done the legs, especially the lower body workouts. So she's my ass is burning, right? Like you and me both, right? So that getting it into your regular life, your routine, is absolutely the key, right? And we've found the gym that's a good 5-minute walk from the school. It makes sense. There's no excuse. What the weather is, you're going to go in, you're going to go and smash it out, and then you feel good afterwards. And I think that's the key. And coming out of these workouts, I feel like my body is still hot for most of the day, right? Like going afterwards, I'm like, this is good. Like
this is so
different.
Science on that as well is just that you don't really burn much in the way of calories during the workout. It's all afterwards. It's all because of the adaptation and what's going on. So hence the reason you will feel hotter and all those feelings as well. And and in terms of because that's kind of day-to-day balance. But do you have any? And the reason I bring this up is I know obviously that you go on quite a few. It feels like quite a few, but holidays with the family and stuff like that. Is that something that for you is super important? Does it get what is it that you feel like you're getting from those type of experiences?
I think definitely to get away, to break, the same as the whole training kind of discussion. If you break your routine and you get out, you freshen things up, you shake things up, your mind then follows that as well. It's not just about ticking off boxes and going and seeing places. It's actually really experiencing a new culture or a new city or whatever it is, whatever you can do to get out of your regular home and comforts will broaden your mind, and it's a cliche, but it's true, right? And then you appreciate people more. And when you meet someone from wherever it is, you have a better understanding of what they may have been through and come from and how to engage better.
Like Bucharest. I know what it's like to be in Bucharest. It was a fun time.
You mingled well.
And do you in terms of your structure of on a weekly basis then, do you have, or monthly basis, do you have designated times for family, designated times for your partner, designated times for your friends, or is it more kind of just?
It's a little bit of both. We know that when we, in the mornings, there's a whole routine, there's a whole flurry. That's always family time, and then They do get them to school on time for the most part, and then they're
Is
in,
this you and Kim going together to drop the kid off?
Generally, yes.
Yeah. So that's why then afterwards you can go to the gym together.
Yeah. So like it's a little.
That's really nice.
Bit of a it works well because we're both leaving from the same place. Why not?
Yeah.
And then obviously we have our own things going on.
Yeah.
I might be doing some work. She might be going off doing something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, and then picking the kids up. More often than not, if we do it together or just one of us, then coming back home, that's the key family moments as well, because we're getting dinner sorted, whatever it is, playing a little bit with them, reading, a little bit of evening stuff, getting them ready for bed. And so during the week, that doesn't change a huge amount because we try not to let loads of social plans interfere with the regular week, right? But as you know, living in Spain, there's always the next festival around the corner.
There was one yesterday.
I mean,
I heard fireworks. It might just be like PTSD or something.
I mean, and they get their days off from that, and then you're like, okay, so that's a different day for us. And how do we get that in? So what's really exciting about this program as well is that it's meant that we could just drop downstairs to the mini gym we've got in our building and just go and smash out a workout and get back up and carry on without feeling like, oh, we've got to go away somewhere and do it. And
that's definitely the no excuses, no gym needed kind of mantra, which is very, very empowering. It just gives you that freedom to feel like you can get it in anywhere. There's one other question I was going to have. I can't remember now. No, I think to be honest, you've from my side, looking at how you've put it in, I'm super, pumped by your enthusiasm, and I think again just tweaking a little bit of the intake. We're going to look at those results and we can share them. But regardless, I just think the positives that you've reflected on this chat, it wasn't paid, is exactly what I get out of it, and what I want other people to get out of it who want to do something like this, like some people, would love the gym and that's part of their vocation almost, they just love being in that environment. I don't, I see it as, a lot of faff, a lot of things going on that I'm like, I don't know what the hell to do. So having this very clean, like this is how much time I dedicate, this is how much time I do this, this is how much time I do that. And having that kind of routine, but having within the routine the opportunity for flexibility. Man, it's about that nice life balance.
Something I did want to also mention is that there was a reason it's taken us this long for me to do the program.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? I was obviously delaying it and delaying it. And not because I was terrified. But also because I was wanting to get it into a month where I knew I could dedicate the month properly to it. And it's been a real eye-opener for me that whilst it is definitely worth doing it in a month or starting it in a month where you can do it properly and obviously we could train together for several days a week rather than the other months where I was traveling. Now that I have some of the key aspects of it, and hopefully the form and all these things coming together, my head is in a much better place to be able to do it even if I go and travel and take it with me. So my plan is to continue into November and
then stop
and then lie down and in my godlike figure and enjoy. But so but also
achieved it,
right? But and keep monitoring because the next travel will come at some point, and I want to be able to do it when I'm abroad as well or in a different place or aside from home. And that's what's really helped with this as well, to see that is possible, much more so than anything else I've ever kind of got into. I could do this in a hotel room.
That's what many a time I've done that, many a time. and it honestly, you realize how powerful just having a chair is. You just could do loads of exercises on the chair that you can do incline, you can decline, loads of stuff. That's great to hear, man. And actually, now you've done it, you will be added to my list of people that every single week gets the program. So you'll have new programs every week to follow.
So
as
you
well.
mix up the exercises, do you?
Oh, every single week they change. Every single week they change.
Right.
And so I've started sending the programs to you.
Yes.
And then, which obviously because we're doing this together at the moment.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, afterwards I'll continue to send you. So I still send them to Matt, still send them to Ella, still send them to Million. So anyone who's done it, they then get part of the club. But it's like, oh, you're an Alpha alumni or whatever. So, or graduate even, sorry. And for me, I think it's really powerful that to see, especially someone like AJ, who's also had tried many different things of training to find this as the most consistent that he can be.
Yeah.
I mean that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, man. Well, thank you so much. We have lots of more food to eat because it's Saturday, so I won't hold you up for much longer. And but man, it's been great so far, and I look forward to seeing you next week for more training. Even though this is going to be published after that, so this doesn't make any sense. But either way,
it doesn't need to.
Doesn't need to, buddy.
Thank
Good stuff, man. Thanks so much.